And early, this time sweeping for curl, does not want to roll out. You roll out here, you give them the chance to try to come around and get a deuce set up, and it will roll out of play. Sterling Middleton now throwing the third stones, looking for the in-turn draw. They'd like to get it buried. Just cleaning early. Waiting on the break. Still has a lot of room by the guards. And now trying to bring it back. They realize it's behind the tee line. If it's going to be behind the tee line, they don't want it deep enough that a freeze on the face of it still gives them room to score. It is buried, but comes to rest back 8 foot. Sebastian Robillard will look to come down onto the face of that. If he could leave himself some separation, that'd be good. You get a foot in front of it, buried. They still can't do anything with it, and you cut down a little bit more of the scoring area. This looks like it's got better line. Boy, this is really moving. Is he going to get by? No, did not get by. Rubs off just that little bit less weight, and good weight for the draw. I mean, he had perfect weight for a come around draw, but with that little bit less weight than what we saw with Sterling, it curls a little harder, and he rubs the guard. Does get into the 12 foot. It's a usable stone for Blandford, so De Jong's going to ask Sterling Middleton to make the play on it. Nothing out of the brushes early. Now sweeping for curl. You hit this on the high side, you could jam it onto your own at the back. Makes the hit and will clip the back stone. Removes it from play, but the yellow does roll out as well. De Jong sits one just biting the top of the 12. And again, the Blandford team talking about the draw. That would be high risk without last rock in the first stand. You can make the hit and roll off the blue stone that's just biting, get in behind cover, and you've got the force set up. If you hit this right on the nose, though, you won't be in the rings, and you'll see De Jong try to come around. Well, he does take away the in-turn draw path. Again, both teams would have had a practice session before the game, so one team or the other would have used this side of the sheet. It's not like it's exactly fresh pebble out here, but we haven't seen a rock down here in the whole end, so it might be a little, and going this direction in practice would have been, 25 minutes, half an hour ago. They should have a pretty good idea on the line. The question will be, what has the weight changed since that practice going this direction? Cameron De Jong with last rock here in the first end. This is his first. Attempting to come around the two yellow guards on the left side of the sheet as they come into the view here. He's got plenty of room by the guards. Brusher's not doing anything with it yet, but they're staying close. This might be a little bit deep. does get it buried, but he is at the back of the forefoot. There's room for Matthew Blandford to come down and sit on top of it. At the very least, he could set up a force here, and with a good freeze, might even be able to steal. He just needs to get, if he can get a sliver to the inside of that blue stone, he doesn't even have to be all the way down to it. I don't think you could throw enough weight to pass it through. Right on the tee line, bite the edge of the button. You might steal here. Even with the dead freeze, it would take a very precise shot from Jong, albeit he'll get to throw the same shot twice in a row. I don't have the luxury of being able to hear the players on my feed, but I have to assume most of that discussion was just about how much weight that they need to throw on this wide out turn. Still looking for confirmation. Final stone for Blandford here without last rock on the way. Brushers down early. He's still got lots of room. Just cleaning off and on. You can tell the Brushers would like to go, but they have to wait on the line, and I'm not sure they had the judgment rate either. This might be strong as well. Is it going to stop in time? Definitely didn't get the line they wanted. It does curl, I think, enough that he's got shot rock, but there might be room for Cameron DeJong to come down, get to the inside, and he only needs to move it back a couple of inches to pick up a deuce here in this opening end of play. That's a big shot for DeJong. Momentum builder as much as anything. This end was not shaping up for a deuce. Even when his first stone slipped deep, it was looking like he was probably going to get forced. This is coming out of almost nowhere. Early indication from the Brushers was this might be a little stronger than what they had in mind. They're sweeping for curl now. He's got to get at least to the nose. Anything to the inside, he passes the back one for sure. There, last little bit of movement at the end. He passes it by the blue stone. Flops in for good measure. Put 2 points on the board for Cameron DeJong here in the opening end of play. He jumps out to the early 2-0 lead. Matthew Blandford will have last rock in the second.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting, we'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Underway here in the second end as we return to Vernon. Jong with 2 in the first. Blandford with the last rock as we begin here in the second. We saw the center guard was thrown with the first rock. Corner guard went up, and now Corey Chester looking to come around his center guard. For Jong, it is Corey Chester the lead. Alex Horvath throws second. Sterling Middleton is the third. And of course, Cameron Jong in the house is the skip. And it's not the first time I've had a chance to look at this team this year, and I keep thinking that Cameron needs an updated picture on his curling zone profile. He looks like he could still be U15 in his in his picture, and he's got the nice beard going. So that picture needs to be updated. Matthew Fenton, on the other hand, throwing lead stones for the Blandford team, just needs a picture. He doesn't have one on our profile page. Cody Johnson throws the second stone, Sebastian Robillard the third, and of course, Matt Blandford, the skip of the team. Looking to come around the corner here. He's got great line if they can get it there. Oh, just rubs. Well, I have to say, it looks like it's moving harder to the corner than it is to the middle, because they've had a struggle to get around the center guards and get buried, but that one moved hard. Had good weight, too. If he gets by, they're in a great spot. As it is, that stone biting the 12-foot is available to be hit. Alex Horvath with the outturn. If he can roll in just a little bit, he can bite the rings. If he stays right there, it cuts off the corner guard. They'll get the roll. Sits 2. That was the 5th stone of the end, though. No free guard zone anymore. Matt Blandford can make a play on the center guard and could get 2 blues moving here. Might be able to get 3, but he did indicate they wanted to roll for a corner. I think if you hit it thick enough to roll for the corner, you're going to be fairly thick on the second blue. You won't touch the third. Just got to curl up a little bit to hold the shooter. There it goes. As 1 gets 2, he does touch all 3, but hit the first one a little too thin to keep the shooter. 2 blues go, and the other one keeps spinning all the way out the back. Just the 1 yellow corner guard left in play, and I have a feeling Cameron Jong is going to ask for that to be removed. Makes the hit, rolls all the way across and out of play, and now there's nothing in play. Cody Johnston being asked to make a draw to the corner, and we may see both teams content now to simply exchange hits and try for the blank. Throws up the corner guard to start the end, or the last of the second stones, pardon me. On to third stones now, and again, Jong looking to get rid of the corner guard. Might be able to roll into the rings off this one. Not attempting that. They're just going to try to roll to the boards. Blandford asking for the corner on the other side this time, just to change the shot a little bit. come in to bite just the top 12. Interesting. No thought by Jong of trying to roll into the rings. And this might go back to what we saw a little bit in the first end, where Blandford on a couple of occasions without last rock suggested coming around center guards while Jong was sitting one. Now, they didn't do it. They didn't ultimately do it, but it may have put the thought into Cameron's mind that this Blandford team is aggressive and they might come around a rock in the top of the 12-foot, try to score two. So he's not going to leave them that opportunity, not even playing the attempt to roll into the rings there. Robillard with another corner guard. Jong already with the broom down, making his way down to the other end, just looking to peel this out. Brusher's just cleaning, makes the hit. He will roll to the divider. Nothing in play for Matthew Blandford as he throws his first. Has to come into the rings now. First stone for Blandford here in the second end. He does have last rock. Looks to be headed towards a chance to blank this end. Brusher's just cleaning it in. Come down to bite a corner of the forefoot, and Cameron Jong on his way down to the other end to look to remove this stone, probably trying to stay this time, just to force Blandford to have to make a hit and roll out. Taking really the same ice that they were using for the hit and roll out on the previous couple of shots. Probably throw this a little bit quieter. Does make the hit, stays right there. So with his final stone here in the second end, Matthew Blandford just looking at the one, needs to hit and roll out. Blank the end, he can retain last rock into the third. With the big weight, sweeper's close. Just cleaning now. He's got a quarter. That's more than enough to kill that stone. Rolls out of play. Easy kicking the rocks to the corner when they're all gone. Matthew Blandford blanks the second, keeps last rock into the third. It'll be Cameron DeJong with a 2-0 lead when we return.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
Still 2-0 as we begin play here in the third. First stone into the forefoot. The corner guard was thrown up. This is the third stone at the end, looking to protect that shot stone, and they would like to, I think, keep the piece of the center line. However, this might slide into the rings, so not in the free guard zone. Matthew Blandford have the opportunity to make a play on those Blues now if he wants. Could ignore them. First thought was the hit and roll in behind, but I think they are talking about the draw now. They have discussed a few very aggressive draws. They have yet to actually play one of them, and this is the safer call. This is the more conventional call. But you can just tell this team would like to play aggressively, and that could make for some interesting situations later in the end. It already looks like it may have affected decisions on a couple of shots last end for DeJong, playing to hit and roll out on rocks where they could have tried to hit and roll into the rings. Boy, this is really curling on them. They were looking to hit and roll the other way. He's just going to get a thin piece. Maybe a little quiet on the weight. Might have been a bit inside. Does remove the blue stone, but his shooter will roll out of play. Alex Horvath a chance to play the guard now. Apologies as we try to sort out some technical difficulties here. There we go. The guard was made now. The come around attempt trying to get to that shot stone. This is still on the outside guard. Is he going to get by it with just feather tick? May have been a little strong anyway. He does go by the blue stone, does come to rest in the back of the 8-foot, so it is second shot. And not the kind of stone that De Jong's willing to ignore. Going to make a play on it, try to roll back behind the guard. Makes the hit, but stays pretty much right there. Leaves another opportunity for the Blandford team to try to get to that blue stone in the 4-foot. Interesting, looking at changing turns. He did not get the movement they were looking on the in-turn side. He's going to play the out turn this time. This is the same spot in the ice where Cameron De Jong set up his deuce in the first end. Matthew Fenton on the brush, trying to get by that front blue stone. Gets it by this time. Down to the face, nudges it back. Boy, what an outstanding brush. That just got by the guard. It is Blandford now sitting 1. And Jong asking Sterling Middleton, pardon me, to make the tap back on the Yellowstone. And this time, in order to pass it by the blue, he's going to have to hit it a shade on the outside. He may not stay in behind cover. There's starting to be a wall forming at the back of the 8-foot as well. Pressure's indicating this might be a little quiet. Boy, they're really going to have to go to get this by. They did not get it by. You know, the Brushers did the best they could with the communication, indicating it was quieter than what they had in mind, but they didn't get on the sweep quite early enough and rubs the guard. Blandford continues to sit 1. It is exposed now. You can tell what he's worried about. I mean, yes, you could come around again, but if you make it, they're going to play the hit and roll off that shot stone, and it's a short roll to get buried. He's thinking about covering it. The guard got pushed over a little bit too much to try to Christmas tree it. That's the issue. If it had just rubbed it to the center line, you might try to come around and leave what we call the Christmas tree, where you can only see half of each rock. The problem with coming into the 4-foot around the guard is you'd leave the double. You come high in the 8-foot, they hit and roll under, and it's essentially double guarded. You come to the back of the 4-foot, they hit and roll in front of it. So it's a bit of a challenge. Where do you put this stone? Drilling nicely, but still plenty of room by the guard. And plenty of speed. It's got to stop for second. This is going to slide deep. And all the way into the back 12. It does come to rest in the rings, but 4th shot for now. Their first thought was to hit and roll behind cover. They have to be a little concerned about jamming it on the blue at the back. Sterling Middleton with his final stone of this end. Looking for the hit and roll behind cover. They're on the brush early. Needs to hold the shooter, needs to hold the line to get a piece. This is really curling. He'll get a piece. Enough to get it between the two blue stones. Will not get it all the way out of play. And he rolls to the back of the 8-foot. Jong sits 3, but he's left the front 4-foot available around cover for Blandford to, again, try to set up his deuce. We're on the final of the third stones. Sebastian Robillard had come down just to take a look at. They were anticipating they were going to have to see some angles. As it turns out, they've got a fairly straightforward call here. A little deep on the last draw attempt. It's the same attempt. Just needs to make the adjustment on the weight. Both brushers cleaning, usually a sign they like the weight. They're waiting on a line call. He's got room by the guard. This is curling nicely. Now will it stop in front of the tee line? Oh, that's a really nice draw. Comes into rest. Full top 4. He is shot rock. He is buried. And it is a problem for Cameron DeJong. He's looking at the run. The run is so risky. The biggest risk I see on this run is if you hit it, you drive it back to hit the yellow on the center line side of the yellow rock. The yellow takes out that blue that's buried at the back of the 8. And then with only the 2 blues left on the side, there's a chance that those 2 yellow biters at the back still could come into play. That would be my concern about this. You ever lose your blue out of the back 8, the buried blue out of the back 8-foot, Blandford still has enough rocks left to try to deal with those 2 blues. He may simply come around again, but this is a risky shot. Both brushers close, so the line's got to be close. That's just a fantastic shot. Runs it straight back, absolutely sticks it. Jong sits 4, and the shot stone still buried. One more look at this. Came up just enough at the end to drive it straight back. And now Blandford's in some trouble. It's not a gimme to even get to that shot stone. If you do, you're rolling somewhere. They're talking about, can they make the triple? I'm not sure the angle's right for that. You can touch all 3. I mean, the angle's good for that, but I think if you're making the double with your shooter across the house, I think the first one looks like it's pretty close to a dead jam then. I'm also not convinced he can see enough to make that cross house double. Boy, it doesn't look like he can see very much from the hacks. He definitely has to make a play on the blue at the top of the 4-foot. I thought they might play this a little quieter, just try to hit and roll off of the stone. Get over in front of the 2 blues on the other side somewhere. Sweeping for curl. This has got to come up. Got to come up. He's got to get a piece. He's got to move this stone on his first one. And he will go right through everything without touching a stone. And now If you're Cameron DeJong, where do you put this stone? That's the whole discussion here, is where do you put this stone? Matthew Blandford has a tough shot right now. How do you make it harder? They talked first about going to the top 8 foot wide open and taking away as much of the 4 foot as they could. But I think what he settled on is try to come down, get to 2/3 of his own blue stone, tap it up a little bit, take away a little bit more 4 foot that way. And then, of course, if you hit 2/3, your shooter's going to roll a little bit to split center. You can take away a little bit more of the 4 foot that way. Already sitting 4 here with Last Rock, or without Last Rock, pardon me, looking to come in, put some additional pressure on Matthew Blandford. DeJong with a 2-point lead already. Perhaps hoping to add to it with a steal here in the third. This is going to have to curl. Even a little bit of a split in there, moving now. Even a little bit of split on this was good. Well, probably rolled a little too far, left him the double. Now, granted, it's got to be made, but I don't see any other way that he scores. You nose hit the red that was just thrown. The other one's shot rock. Even if you hit and roll into it without moving it, I think the other one's still shot rock. So you have to make the double. Essentially throwing the same shot he threw on his first one now. He was looking to get to a rock that he could barely see on the first one. This one, he needs to hit the inside of the rock that was just thrown, come across and nudge the second one. Doesn't have to get the second one out of play, but he's probably going to have to move it. You know, looking at where his shooter's going to end up, he's probably going to need to move it at least 6 inches. If he can get half a rock on the first one, it'll go easy. If he's a little thick on the first one, it's going to be questionable. And this is still backing up off the line. This is going to need to curl. There it goes, starting to move now. Makes the hit, does come across, nudges that second stone out of the 4 foot. Enough. Matthew Blandford, bit of a game saver there against 5. Makes the hit and roll to pick up his single, keep himself in the game. It is 2-1 after 3 ends of play here in Vernon.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at gsoctickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Fourth end in a 2-1 game. Jong has last rock here again as we play in the fourth. Center guard went up. They come around it. Matthew Fenton now being asked to sit on top of that blue stone at the top of the forefoot. This has got a lot of room. Boy, good movement on that stone on that side from the hog line in. Gets right to the face of the shot stone. Corey Chester being asked to follow it down. He'll come down, nudges it, but leaves everything in a straight line where that Yellowstone should go back onto the blue yet. They were okay with the nudge. They just wanted to be a little bit off the nose one way or the other and line the first blue yellow up to go by the blue in the top of the button. Blandford's first thought was the guard. You can see why he wants to play that. Yet want to keep the play out of the rings for a while now. He knows he's got that blue onto yellow onto blue later on. This is the fifth stone of the end, so after it comes to rest as a guard, Jong can start cleaning up guards, and he has played very conservatively so far, so I would expect, well, that one's going to overcurl a bit. I still expect he's not going to like to leave staggered centers when the angles in the house don't really do him any good either. There was a quick discussion about how can they get both of these. You can probably get both of them. I don't know that you can get both of them and lose your shooter. You got to go pretty much straight back to get them both, I think. Gets one, does catch the second. Rolls the shooter over an inch or two. That's probably the best they could do with that. Indication from Blandford. Try to throw another center guard, this time tighter to the rings. It'll change the angle around too. The stagger will be the other direction now, and it'll be a little risky for Jong to try to go after the double because they might run it into the rings, which would promote the yellow onto shot rock. A little deeper than they had in mind, but the angle works out for them. Oh, this is another risky attempt. They're trying to run this straight back. Blue onto the yellow that was just thrown. If you're ever a little across the face, you drive it onto the blue, and We'll drive blue onto yellow onto shotstone. That's a pretty good result. He doesn't mind losing that top blue, and it wasn't helping him. It's one less rock in the row now. Robillard being asked to come down and sit on top of the yellow again. He still wants to have these lined up to the blue. If they tap it up to the blue, that's okay too. The key here is to get the line up, the two yellow stones, so that they go through that blue one. So even with the tap, they're not going to be very far apart. A little stronger than they had in mind. He actually gets the double tap. He did move the blue behind the tee line, but I think there's room to make the double. That's what Jong is looking at. I don't think they meant to move the blue that far. Sebastian, just a little strong on that one. Needs to hit this just a little on the high side to get the double. Makes the one, makes the second one, and spins the first one all the way out of play. Nice shot by Sterling Middleton. Sits 2 for Jong. There's a double available for Matthew Blandford. It'd be straight back, though. You're going to stay in the open. Makes the hit, catches the second one, does make the double. Shooter stays right there. Blandford sitting 1. Middleton in the hacks, a chance to hit and roll behind cover, and we're on third's last stone. This would be a chance to perhaps set up a deuce here in the fourth end. Well, this is going to have to curl. Will not. They'll get the nose hit. Stays out in the open, and Blandford the chance to hit and roll under himself. Could think about hitting this right on the nose as well. You hit it on the nose, it'd be very tough for Jong to roll into the rings off it, and he's not likely. I was going to say he's not likely to ignore it, but we are in the fourth end. He could ignore it, simply elect to go around and try to set up the skip's deuce. Don't think he'd do it in an odd end, but he might in an even end. Has to stay in the rings, though. This is still out there a bit. Going to hit it on the outside, and his shooter will roll away. That makes it a risk-free decision for Cameron Jong to try to come around and perhaps pick up his second deuce of the game here. Both of these teams coming in undefeated, looking for a spot in the playoffs tomorrow. Cameron DeJong with the early lead and a chance to extend it here in the fourth. Needs a good come around here to set up the chance for the deuce. Out of his hand, the brushers, again, just cleaning, waiting for that line and waiting for it to start to break. Starting to move now. Line looks pretty good. They don't want to be too deep. Oh, that's a really nice shot. Brings it into the full top four. It is dead buried. Blandford thinking really all he can do is just come down, sit on the face of that, and leave the rest of the 4 foot for Cameron DeJong. Wondering if they could see anything on the outturn side. If they can, it's just a very small sliver. You could try the run back. You know, it's one of those things where you make the freeze, and as good as these teams are, you just expect that Cameron DeJong's going to be able to hit that much of the 4 foot with his last draw. That might mean the best shot for Matthew Blandford here is try the run back, try to kill both of these blues and hope for a blank. He's still thinking about trying to pick it from the outturn side. You can't see very much. They're going to elect for the freeze. You freeze to half of it, then at least Cameron DeJong is going to have to take a little bit more ice to make sure he gets by your stone when he tries to draw to the rest of the 4 foot. And that changes the path a little bit. It could change the speed. You might fool the... It's not just the thrower, even the brushers. They'll have to judge a different path, a slightly different path. Early indication from the brushes was this might be a little bit strong. They can't afford to bounce off. Line's really curling now. Should be close. Nudges it back a little bit. That won't make any difference. The key was to keep the shooter about half exposed. You can't make a play on that because it goes on to the blue. And now you force DeJong to go a little wider to get past that yellow stone. Honestly, probably the best Matthew Blandford could do there. He's got half a rock in the 4 foot, so he's cut down the scoring area for Cameron DeJong, and he's changed the shot ever so slightly. Sometimes ever so slightly is all you need. It changes the path. The speed here could be different. Final stone. Cameron DeJong with a 2-point lead. He's got one on the corner of the button now. A chance to pick up his second deuce of the game. Brusher staying close to this one. Just a clean brush for now. Really starting to move now. Are they going to be able to get it by that yellow at the top of the 4 foot? Are they going to be able to drag it far enough? Thereby. And deep enough, he puts it on a corner of the button on the other side. 2 more points, second deuce of the game for Cameron DeJong. He now has a 4-1 lead after 4 ends of play as he tries to remain undefeated here at the Prestige Hotel and Resorts Curling Classic.
For over 20 years, the Sandra Schmirler Foundation has granted more than $9 million to hospitals across Canada for life-saving equipment for premature and critically ill babies. In the past 4 years alone, $4 million has been granted thanks to the curling community's incredible generosity. The need continues year-round, and with your help, we can ensure every baby has the chance to grow up and become a champion, just like Sandra.
Welcome to the rockshop.net, the official store for the Grand Slam of curling. Whether you're looking for the best hats, stylish clothing, fun toys, or unique accessories, the Rock Shop has it all. Shop online anytime at therockshop.net for exclusive Grand Slam of curling gear, or come see us in person at your next event. Therockshop.net, where fans find their favorite curling gear.
Through 4 ends of play here, round robin action from Vernon. Both of these teams playing like they've got lunch plans. Game was scheduled to start at 11:30 local time. We got it going just a few minutes early, and we're through 4 ends in about an hour's time. And it's not for a lack of rocks in play. We had one end that was primarily open, but other than that, we've had some come around attempts, some good draws. Cameron Jong with a nice draw on his final stone last end takes his second deuce of the game. He's now opened up a 3-point lead. They brought the first rock of this end into the top of the 4-foot. The corner guard went up. The center guard on shot rock. And now Matthew Fenton looking to come down and sit on the face of that shot stone. Matthew Blandford has shown early on in this game, certainly he likes to discuss the aggressive shots. And if that means they're comfortable with them, that's where they need to be right now. Now, this blue stone is in the no-tick zone. You can move it as long as it doesn't leave the center line. They moved it. It doesn't leave the center line. That is a legal play. Everything stays where it is. It's one of those situations where it's hard to know which team's happier about that. Matthew Blandford not happy to have left a double guard, but at least he doesn't lose a stone, and he's down 3. He needs rocks to work with. But the other side of that right now, Cameron DeJong sitting one already. It's double guarded. A little bit of stagger on those double guards and looking to bring another one around. Now, this is a long ways by the guard. Well, they did not get the line they were looking for there. That's going to leave a double opportunity for Blandford, and they can stay pretty close to right there. It'll open up some scoring room for them. Talking about staying right there, and I'm not even sure he's looking at getting the second one out. Just more importantly, to get the shooter to stay right in the 12-foot. The other option is you could make sure of the double and roll to the corner. And you trust that Cameron DeJong's going to play the hit on the open one. Then you can come around. Does get the nose hit, drives it by the stone in the back, or in the top of the 4-foot. DeJong continues to sit one, but dangerous to go after that yellow. Slash is there. It's thin, and keep in mind they don't have the benefit of an overhead camera. So the thrower at the other end probably doesn't realize just how thin it is. They're going to play the freeze on the yellow, try to get just to the inside of it. Leave the angle on the 2 frozen stones to go by shot rock. Needs to get to the inside, moving big now. Actually going to more than get to the inside. He's going to chip off it a little bit. Had a little more weight than what they had in mind. Taps it to the back 8-foot, rolls his shooter under cover. DeJong sits first and third, buried. Second shot open at the back of the 8 belongs to Blandford. Has to start looking at moving some stones. Talking about the tight blue one onto the one in the top 12-foot. problem with that is it leaves shot stone still buried. For now, anyway. So not throwing with this with big weight. They're not really looking to kill the guard. They're looking to move the stone in the 12-foot out from behind cover and then have this guard come to the back of the house, something they might be able to freeze to behind the corner guard. So moves the guard onto the blue at the top. We'll move it through. The other blue stone doesn't come as deep as they would have liked, but it does stay partially out in the open, and albeit a thin double, they do have a double available on the two blues right now. Because of that, Cameron DeJong probably going to have to make a play on the open yellow. Sterling Middleton with the out turn. The indication early from the brushers, a little bit strong. Comes up nicely, though, makes the hit, and he will actually roll into the back of the 4-foot for shot rock. Blandford still looking at the double at the top of the house. With that rollover on the last shot, won't be able to get shot rock even if he makes this double, but needs to get the one at the top of the 4-foot. It's the more dangerous stone. Needs the double here. Gets one, comes across, gets the second one, and actually off the back of the second one a little bit, and spins into the 4-foot. Still second shot. It is maybe just fully exposed. DeJong thinking there's enough room to get to the inside and roll back under cover. This is a delicate shot, but it's probably there. On the brush early on this one. Has to get by the yellow guard. Has to get by. And it's going to rub on the way by. Now, where does the shooter end up? Catches that second one. And Matthew Blandford maybe should have been up there. It might be biting. That might be the call coming from the other end. Why did you sweep that, skipper? It might be biting anyway. It's hard to tell. Doesn't have to make a play on the bluestone right now either, because right now with where the yellow is, DeJong can't play the hit and roll behind that cluster of rocks on the left-hand side as we look at the house, because he jammed it on his own stone. So they're looking at playing the draw in there directly. Sebastian Robillard wants to come down, take a look at the angles. They make any kind of a play on the blue stone at the back, then DeJong can play the hit and roll off that stone at the top of the 4-foot. So they're looking at ignoring it now. The other option, Robillard talking about you play the hit and roll behind the blue, or with the blue behind the one single yellow guard. The only one DeJong can go after is that one at the top of the 4-foot, but if he rolls buried, you run out of rocks to do something about it. I didn't mind Matt's first idea, which is just to ignore that stone and not allow DeJong the chance to roll behind the cluster. He's got to roll behind the one single yellow guard, which he could then run back. They're going to play the hit and roll off the blue. This is not wrong. You're still forcing Cameron DeJong to make a good shot, but if he makes it, your end is kind of taken away. That's the risk you take, but you're putting 3 in play right away. If you make this hit and roll, your 3 is set up. You need Cameron DeJong to not make the perfect roll on his next shot. Have to roll on this. You'd like to be buried. It's not critical that it's dead buried. It could have over-rolled, would have been fine too. That's a pretty good spot. There's no double. DeJong has a choice to make here. You try to roll behind the cluster on the left as we look at the house, or the right as we look at the overhead. You're probably not going to be shot rock. That stone at the back of the 4-foot is. If you ever don't get buried, Blandford has a chance to hit. Sit 3 again. If you try to roll towards that stone at the back of the 4-foot, you either need to be perfectly buried or dead in front of it, and neither of those are easy either. You still might not be shot rock. If he's trying to, the roll that he just indicated, if you're going to roll that steep and still stay right there, he's got to throw it really quiet. So looking to cross the face with the in turn. Hit it a little bit thinner, but then because you're throwing the in, you actually reverse the gear effect. You won't roll as far. So trying to use that part of the gear effect to slow down his roll so that he can hit this a little bit thinner without rolling as far. Try to sit somewhere in front of that red stone and hopefully with shot rock. This is such a tough shot when you're looking for such a precise roll. Sweeping for a little bit more curl now. He's got the hit. He's got a roll. And will it spin at the end? No. He does sit for second shot and stays on a good angle to the yellow, so it is a rock that it's going to take a delicate shot for Matt Blandford to get the blue stone out and hold his shooter. Probably can only hit about a third of this to be sure that he passes it by the back yellow. And then he still needs to hit the, get the blue one out of the rings and hold his shooter. Line's close. Boy, it's coming up at the end. Is he going to get by the yellow? Just by. And will roll all the way across and in behind that cluster of rocks on the left-hand side. Outstanding shot by Matthew Blandford. Sits, I think, 3. 2 for sure. And now it really matters if that stone at the top is biting or not. One more look at this. Hits it thick enough to just miss the stone at the back of the 8-foot. And rolls his shooter all the way across behind cover on the other side. Albeit both yellows are behind the tee line. And Cameron DeJong is going to attempt the freeze. Well, this is certainly your way to get out of jail. You could take away all 3 of those yellow stones, but if you ever leave a chance for Matthew Blandford to get this blue stone out, definitely it would be for 3, and you could possibly leave him a chance for 4. He can see the shot stone enough to make a play on it, but then he's definitely leaving a shot for 3. Looking to play the freeze down onto second shot, and by doing so, give up probably no worse than 2. But there is a risk. He could leave a shot for 4 here. Both brushers close. Waiting on the line. They've actually switched around now, trying to get some extra curly. He's got to get a piece in front of that yellow stone. Got to get a piece in front of it. He's got to get a piece in front of it, and he does. Boy, that moved just enough at the end, and actually he's corner frozen and still shot rock. Matthew Blandford does have that one that might be biting, but it's at the right angle that he could try to run it onto the shot stone and get 3 that way. He's not going to get the shooter on for the 4th. You can probably see 2/3 of that stone. Might be able to get to it with enough to at least get 2. If you could get to the nose with enough weight to kill both the blue and the yellow, it's still probably for 3. I'm not sure you can throw that firm at it. It's got to spin all the way out of the 4-foot to even make sure you've got 2. Boy, that does not look like a lot of ice. He's got to be throwing some weight at this. On his way down to the other end, I think he wanted to see what he could see from the hacks. So they basically had 2 shots already decided. They were either going at it direct or they were playing the angle run. Matt got down to the other end, and it just didn't look to him like he could see enough of the blue stone by the guard to make the direct play, so they're going to play the slash. This could be to tie the game if he can make this. Big shot here. You make this, you're tied up. You don't make it, you're down 4 with 3 ends left to play. What a momentum swing this would be. Outstanding draw. Gutsy shot call even from Cameron de Jong with his final stone. Came up just enough at the end. For a while it looked like there might be a danger of giving up a shot for 4. Ends up right on the corner. Couldn't have placed it any better. Matthew Blandford now with his final stone, looking to slash that tight yellow guard into the pile. Makes the hit. Oh, a little thin on the first one. He catches the blue, but also the yellow, and doesn't move it far enough. It will be a steal of 1. Just missed the line call. Cameron de Jong picks up another steal. He's got a 5-1 lead now after 5 ends of play.
Hey Ben, what's the Aztec Safety online e-learning website again?
Yeah, that would be aztecsafety.com.
Fire extinguisher and firefighting. We'll send that one to Paul.
Ah, now here's a course I should probably take. Conflict resolution.
Power line safety. Yeah, I thought it might help me with my line calls. Did you know this Aztec website has over 100 safety courses?
Jeez. Aztec Safety online course. Ground disturbance. Could have used that a few seconds ago.
rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at GSOCtickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Well, a really nice try by Matt Blandford with his final stone, but that's little consolation. He hit that blue stone just a little too thin, not able to get it out of the 4-foot. Ends up as another steal. So Jong with a 5-1 lead here. Sean Joyce, happy to be with you live here from the Prestige Hotel and Resorts Curling Classic in Vernon. Round robin action. This is Pool C. Both teams coming in with a record of 2-0. Looking to get themselves through to the playoffs tomorrow. Both teams will have one more round robin game later today. Jong with a stranglehold on this one right now with 3 ends to play. It is still Blandford with last rock. Jong with shots at the top of the 4-foot. They've got it partially covered with one of their own. 2 yellow corner guards up, and now looking to throw the 5th stone of the end into that middle again. I think they were looking to come into the rings here. Rubs off the guard a little bit and actually might have put it into the rings as well. Chance for Cody Johnson to clean things up in the middle with one shot and perhaps get something rolled in behind the corner as well. Makes the hit. Dead stuffs it, but leaves his shooter at the top 12. Makes the hit on the Yellowstone, rolls across, nudges his own again. Jong sitting 2 for sure, might be 3. Matthew Blandford looking at, they can't see about 2/3, it looks like, of the shot stone. Might be able to hit and roll behind the corner. Also talking about moving that stone at the top of the 12-foot. I think they've covered all the options. It's you play the hit and roll off the one in the 8, you split the one at the top of the 12, or they're playing the double straight back. And I'm not sure which one they settled on. They're definitely playing the stone at the top 12. I don't know if they're looking to push it behind the corner and roll to the corner themselves, other side. Looks kind of like the split. They'll try to push it to the back of the house, maybe even out past that cluster. Oh, no, he was trying to move both of the blues. Straight back. One behind the tee line, both behind the tee line. That's a pretty good shot. He's going to have some rocks to work with. And for Jong, that stone at the top of the house outside on the center line, dangerous stone. He doesn't want to leave it, but he can't really hit it off the nose. He's got 2 rocks he could jam on it, so he's going to have to leave his shooter right there. You can almost tell, seeing Blandford and Robillard standing at the back, they're thinking, okay, well, we're going to have rocks to work with, but now what do we do with them? Makes the hit, passes it through. He rolls over to the other side of the center line. He actually takes away a lot of the draw path by doing that. The shot stone is still accessible through the hole. You can play the hit and roll off that too. Looks like that's what they're going to go with for now. They've got the wide intern to get to the second shot stone as well, with at least, well, probably at most draw weight, just try to freeze to the inside corner of it. So there's a way to generate a second one there. You have to expect if you make this roll, Jong is probably going to play some kind of run back. Now, they have played some very quiet run backs, controlled the line quite well, and made some outstanding shots. So he's probably not going to whip it down there. You make the hit, you make the roll. You at least make him make that decision. There is a port. It's a skinny port. You could pick the yellow and roll towards your own, or you play the straight back. What he's worried about, you try to roll towards your own, you're going to leave a pocket. It's still got to be made. So opting to play the port with, it looks like, bumper weight. Made the port, makes the hit, and does flop over into the full 4-foot. You know, key there with that quiet weight. They control the roll. I don't think it rolled far enough that Blandford can try the in-turn freeze for sure, and the port is awful tough to try anything with the out-turn. You know, there might be room on the out-turn side to come between the wide corner guard and the blue close to the rings and get one in for shot rock. The problem is they need more than 1 point. So they're going to try to play the yellow straight back. You're going to have to, at some point in time, deal with that blue stone at the back of the 4-foot. And it's not real easy to get to it from either turn. So they're looking to drive this almost straight back. You got to get it just by the one at the top of the house. I don't think it's biting, but just by that stone and try to clip the one out of the back 4-foot. Maybe have it roll in front of the one at the back 8. Even if you double those two would be okay. Move them both. Not going to throw a lot of weight. Got to control the line here. Inside brusher has been down all the way. Cannot afford to overcurl this. And it will. And because it did, it will drive it right by both of those stones. Does hang around in the back 12, but now the yellow-blue at the top overlapped slightly, and there's just no way to get into that 4-foot area with enough weight to move that blue stone out of the back four. Jong looking at hitting the yellow at the back just because it's habit almost. You want to eliminate a stone, but hard for that stone to come back into play right now. Thinking about the outturn draw, and there's a couple of things that you can get out of this. You don't want to be too deep. Top of the 8-foot is good. It also would take away any kind of angle slash on that yellow corner guard on the right-hand side as we look at the house. Left on the overhead, it's out on a lonely island out there, but it's the only rock he's got right now, Matthew Blandford, to try to drive into that shot stone. You might be able to make this draw once, like I said earlier, but I don't know how you'd ever get two around here. And with Cameron DeJong playing it first, if he can pull this into the top 8-foot and take away the angle on the slash, Matthew Blandford going to have a hard time scoring at all this end, and he really needs to try to generate two. Both brushers have been down most of the way. He's got the port now. How deep can they bring it? He's got really nice line. Stops full 12-foot. He does sit 3. And he's taken away the angle on that yellow into the house. And Blandford looking at, can he make that center line port with the outturn quiet enough to get some finish, move the stone out of the back of the 4-foot and roll to the back 4-foot himself. He's got to move this a fair distance, because not only does he need to get shot rock out of this, but the only draw he's got left for his last one right now would be the wide intern, and it's just debatable whether or not he could get a piece of the 4-foot or not. So he's got to move this stone far enough to leave room to draw with his second one. First has to make the port. He's close. He's real close. Might have to curl a little bit to get off the first one. No, he's got the hole. Now, how far can he move the blue stone? They had to wait on the line. He taps it back about a foot. It does still have half a rock in the 4-foot. That is a really good shot. DeJong may have no choice other than to guard the hole and just try to make it hard for Blandford to get a second point. I think that's what they're looking at. Just plug the port. Say, okay, Mr. Blandford, you made a great shot. We'll give you one. But how are you going to get your two? Final stone for Cameron DeJong in the 6th end with a 5-1 lead. Just looking to take away the draw path that Matthew Blandford made on his first one. Does everything he needs to with that. That should leave just the wide in-turn draw, and will it curl enough? That's the question. You look at it from the view facing the house. You definitely have to overbury that yellow guard by half a rock to get enough of the forefoot. Sebastian Robillard, I think, thinking that they may have to come down and move the blue to do it. Well, now you're looking at curling that far still, and it's got to have extra weight. Looking at the angle tap into the corner of the forefoot too, that might be there, but it's so tough. I don't know if this one's even there, though. I'm with Matthew on this. He's looking at this, and you can look at it all day. I'm not sure the shot's there. Robillard keeps pointing at it, but you can point at it all day. I don't know if you can get there. And tapping the blue stone is harder still, because then you have to throw extra weight and still get the line. This would be a tough shot if the yellow guard wasn't there. And it's kind of in the way. Cannot look good from the hacks. Thing that's hard to tell is if you sat right on the corner of the yellow stone, it's hard to tell if you'd even have a second shot. I don't think you can come right beside the yellow. I think you got to get a piece on top of your own if it's a straight draw. This is tough. Matthew Blandford, final stone. He is sitting one. Desperately needs a deuce here in this sixth end. Gonna have to be tight by the guard, first of all. He's got room. Got a lot of room. Starting to curl now. This is a long ways out. He's going to get to the nose of the one at the back. That's not enough. It's only going to get him a single point. Cameron de Jong with a 5-2 lead after 6 ends of play, and he will have last rock once again in the 7th.
The 2025-2026 Grand Slam of Curling schedule is out, with big events happening all over Canada, like the Masters heading to London in September, the Tour Challenge from Nisku this October, the Canadian Open from Saskatoon in December, and the Players' Championship from Steinbeck coming in January. Early bird weekend and full event passes on sale now at gsoctickets.com. Let's rock!
Well, no secret what the teams are going to have to try here. De Jong with last rock would be happy to score one here, take a 4-point lead back. Blandford's going to have to try to steal a deuce somewhere along the way. 3 points down, 2 ends left. He's not going to have the hammer again. You got to steal a deuce at some point. You got to steal another single on top of that. Tried to get the first one on the center line. As we're coming back from the break, you can see it's about a foot off. I'm going to guess that they missed the center line, and the tick moved it over about that far. At least on this one, he trying to line up the two guards. He came by it, rubs off, and grabbed the center line at least. So he does have the one stone in the no tick zone, but he's left angle for a double peel, which can't be played just yet. This is just the fourth rock of the end. They'll look to come around. Blandford will have to make a decision. Probably play another guard somewhere, because you have to think that double peel is likely going to be made. They're too close together. Come around made to the top of the 4-foot. You could sit on top of that. That'll be the call. It's a tough situation for Blandford. They know they need to steal a deuce at some point in time. They didn't get the start up to this end that they needed to really have a solid shot at that. So I think you probably have to make your decision. Okay, we're just going to pull out the stops and try to steal one here, and then try to reset and get a better setup in the next end. And still going to be a tough situation, needing to steal two just to get to an extra end. But hard to do that here now without some kind of a blatant miss. Half shot probably doesn't get it for you now. The setup in front's not good enough. Looking for the double peel, and he'd like to spin across the top and all the way out of play. Just like that. The guards are gone. The shooter rolls away as well, and it's just the two rocks in the rings for now. Blandford will have to guard this up for a while. Blandford will continue to throw guards. De Jong will continue to peel those guards. And then at some point in the end, Matthew Blandford could wait right for his last one, but if he waits for the last one, De Jong might switch gears on him the shot before that. Blandford will have to move that blue stone at some point. He doesn't have to kill it. He's got to move it back far enough that he's sitting at least one. Might prefer to be sitting two. The peel made. The shooter rolls out of play. Blandford will throw, you have to think, at least two more guards. He might have to make a decision on the rocks and the rings with his first stone. Throw the guards. You know that De Jong's going to peel them. Then Matthew, this first one, probably tries to tap yellow onto blue, tap the blue behind the tee line. And it's going to have to be well into the back four to make sure you're sitting shot at the top four. Leave the yellows lined up to the blue. You're hoping for something to jam, and then you can guard with your last one and maybe get the steal. Another peel made, another guard being attempted. Another peel expected. And it will be decision time. You definitely have to make a play into the rings now. You could freeze the yellow, try to leave him an angle, or you try to tap freeze. Try to move the blue back where everything jams. It's probably easier to control if you just corner freeze the yellow. Talking about coming behind those two stones as well. That's a tough shot. I think that's what they settle on, though. They're trying to come to the back four behind those two. I have to admit, I prefer the freeze at the top. It's just so tough to come behind a rock. Basically, it's in the, might be even biting a sliver of the button. You're trying to get behind it. You know that if you do bury it, De Jong's just going to pick the top yellow one, or try to anyway, and you still have to do something with that blue stone. It looks like they were playing the freeze all the way. That's a good shot, good call. We talked about the draw to the back of the forefoot, and I thought they were tapping the ice there as that was going to be the call. The problem for De Jong now is you want to blast something, but you're going to lose your blue when you do. You know that Blandford's going to guard it somehow. But as long as you get the top one out, it's probably not any worse than a single. Blandford might have a decision to make as well. You might have to bring the guard into the house just so that you can sit two and force De Jong to think about it. The middle yellow here is not going to go very far. Top yellow should leave. The back blue will leave. And looks like the shooter might hang around for a bite of the 12-foot, full 12. Blandford looking at playing the tap. I'm not convinced they're thinking this through. I get they're thinking they might need to steal two at some point, and they tap it back. You're hoping that he's going to draw against it. Maybe you steal two. He's never drawing against it. He's going to hit one, and you're putting your two rocks closer together than they have to be. You could sit two at the top of the 12-foot, and there's going to be more separation than there will be if you tap that back. And he's still hitting. He's never drawing against two in the situation because he'll give you a steal of one. He's still 2 points up coming home. So Matthew Blandford here with his final stone. Looking to set up a steal. Needs to cover the yellow one. They might want to be in for second. I mean, they're not going to get either. They've left half exposed, and they're not in the rings. Like, there's no real reason for Jong not to make a play on it. Not going to be quiet here. I guess there is some risk. I mean, if you ever got tight to that yellow, if you just wicked it, you could put it into the rings or even into the blue one on the corner of the 12-foot. But if you can manage to slide by everything. Already with 5-2 lead. Sorry, we've got the score wrong at the bottom of the screen. It's 5-2 for Jong. He has last rock here. Blandford does not. And this is it. This has got a curl to get a piece, though. He might go by it. He's going to just sliver ticket. Matthew Blandford will pick up his single point here in the 7th. Closes the gap a little bit. It'll still be Jong with last rock and a 5-3 lead coming home here in Vernon.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at GSOCtickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Final end just underway here, or perhaps final end just underway here. Round robin action between Matt Blandford and Cameron Jong. They got the center guard up with the first one. The come around attempt, that stone you see just biting the top 12, it actually can act as another guard. And the Blandford team talking about, okay, well, where do we put the next one? You have to steal two here. That's the thing. So they're talking about possibly trying to bring one in already, knowing that Jong can't really do anything about the long guard yet, and it's kind of protecting that blue stone in the 12, which they're using as a tight guard. You could throw another center guard, try to throw something in front of the blue, or you could come in right now, which looks like that's what they're opting to do. They even talked about coming back 4. You do need to have room to get 2 in here that can steal. And, you know, if that blue one wasn't so well buried, you still might throw another guard. But because it's dead buried, it's tough for Jong. He can make a play on his own stones, but he can't really see it. So you might have your double center already. Now it's a question of trying to get not just one around, but you have to get two around good enough to steal with. Got nice line here. It will come just behind the tee line. They don't mind that. It's the chance you have to take this end. Is you've got to have room in the button area to get two. So you come behind the tee line. You don't really expect Jong to try to freeze to it anyway. Even if he does, that's another rock in play for you. He's going to play the split on his own stone. It's the only way he can really get to it. Get it off that center line at least. Boy, this is going to have to curl. He's not going to make contact with the blue. Can they make any kind of contact with that yellow shot stone and push it out in the open? They will. It's a bit of a bonus. They didn't get what they wanted, but they still got something out of it. Does give Blandford the chance to come around again, though. This is the fifth stone of the end. The peels can start after this. That little biter at the back, though, that's the stone that means you could have a chance yet to sit three this end if you're Matt Blandford. The two ways to steal two is you bury two on the button or you sit three somewhere and hope for a rollout. He actually could be sitting buried, sitting three. The third one won't be open, or would be open, but you might force Cameron DeJong to give you the chance for two. They're going to look for the double peels. Now, this one is tough. They won't mind if they roll out on this one. You know that Blandford's going to have to replace the guard in it. It'll be tough to get it as perfect. 1, 2, 3, perhaps 4 more times. Just drives it by. Actually clips the stone out of the back. That's a bonus. That takes away the chance that Blandford might be able to sit three later on. He's got to look to guard shot rock now. And straight guarding shot rock is going to leave a little bit of angle on the two stones on the center line, the one you're about to throw and the one at the top 12. Probably see DeJong make another attempt at the double peel. Well, he lined up the long two, so now if DeJong wants to make the double peel, he's likely got to play yellow center into the blue corner, which is what they're looking at. Just make sure two rocks go away here. Gets one, gets two. Everything rolls out of play. So now it's just the shot stone belonging to Blandford, top of the button. The stone in the top 12 foot is giving it some protection. He'll throw a second guard up along. And you expect the teams to continue to exchange guards and peels. And with his last one, likely, Matt Blandford now will try to come around, sit two at the top of the 4 foot, and hope that's good enough to get him to an extra end. A lot of distance between those two, but there's just a slight bit of angle. They're going to make an attempt at getting both of them. With it being a blue one that's in the rings, even if you had jam, there's a chance that you're clipping that rock out of the top of the buttons if you make contact, but it will straight peel. Nothing wrong with that. Straight peel's all they really need. If they ever catch a second rock, that's a bonus. I was reading lips right. They talked about, do we just play this one as a straight peel? But I think they've settled on we're going to give it one more chance. And it does look like he is setting up for an out turn with negative ice. So trying to throw the big weight hit. Yellow catch any piece of that blue. And if he can hit it thick enough, he still could roll the shooter out of the way, and does. Not able to make contact with the blue at the top. Blandford looking at coming in now. You're thinking if you're coming in now, is you know that De Jong's going to make one attempt at the run. If he misses it, you can bring your third stone in for a biter, but they're going to throw the guard. The De Jong team has been so good at the runbacks. If you leave him a 6-foot runback, you expect him to make contact with something, and then you're in trouble. So you throw the guard here. He'll peel it. You come in. Force De Jong to make a decision. Is he playing the 6-foot run where he has to kill something? Or does he try to draw an outdraw second shot? Nothing out of the brushers. You certainly don't want these guards to be too close together, and this is going to slide a little deeper. It's got to finish to get lined up, too. Wow, that leaves a lot of angle. De Jong could definitely make a play at the double peel now, and the other scary thing for Matt Blandford, he makes the double peel. It's very possible that blue stone is coming straight back, clips the stone out of the top of the button, and Matt won't even get to throw his final stone. Cameron De Jong with his first. He's got a 2-point lead, looking for the double peel. On the brush right away. Now they backed away. He's got one. He's got two. Rubs the stone in the rings, but leaves it on the corner of the button. Nothing left to hide behind, however, and Matthew Blandford, needing to steal two, is going to have to come into the rings, and he's going to need a wide open miss from Cameron De Jong. Outstanding shot from De Jong on his first with the double peel. Matt Blandford just came a little deep and didn't get the finish they were looking for. If they at least would have lined those guards up, it would have been a tougher shot. And if he makes the double peel, there's a chance he stays in front. As it is, cleaning out all the guards, Matthew Blandford, nothing left to hide behind, and needs both of these rocks to get to the tie. Well, Matt does his job, puts his stone in the top of the 4-foot. That's the best he could do with it. But now he has to hope, against hope, for some kind of a miss here from a guy who just hasn't missed much all day. Again, 15 teams started play yesterday, 3 pools of 5. Looking for one of 6 berths through to the playoffs. Cameron DeJong undefeated through his opening 2. He's still got one game left later today. If he can make either one of these yellows go away, he will move to 3-0. Final stone on its way. Cameron DeJong with the in-turn hit. Both brushers down, just cleaning. Just needs to make one yellow go away. He'll hit it right on the nose. That's a steal of 1 for Matt Blandford, but that's not enough. It'll be a 5-4 win for Cameron DeJong. Strong performance from the DeJong team here this afternoon in Vernon. They move to 3-0. Matthew Blandford, for his own right, still at 2-1 and a good chance to make the playoffs. Both of these teams will have their final round robin game later on today, and you will be able to catch all of the action here on the Curling Stadium Network. My name is Sean Joyce. I want to thank you all for joining us here this afternoon, and stay with us all weekend long and all season long for outstanding curling action.
Live curling rocks. And this November, the best in the world are coming to Tahoe. Get your seats now at GSOCtickets.com. But hurry, early bird pricing ends soon.